All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of Sound of the Chef, and I am on a mission to create the greatest Philly cheesesteak. Not the greatest, but just one that I'm satisfied with. So right now I have my sweet onions, and the approach that I'm going to take is going to be inspired by Jim's Steakhouse in Philadelphia. So I'm going to kind of show you how I'm going to cut the onions. But yeah, so after I cut it, I'll show you guys the size that I'm going with for the onions. All right, guys, so here's how the onions came cut out. And actually, as I was cutting them, I did a technique that I saw on YouTube when somebody was cutting onions and didn't cut them the way that I saw like the size of the onions, and I saw like the gems and stuff. So this is gonna be the size of the onions, which it ain't nothing crazy. It ain't nothing too bad. But you got to also consider they're going to kind of caramelize and wilt away while they're cooking. But yeah, these are the onions. And so next I'll probably show you when I'm cooking them in the skillet, low and slow. I'm not going to season them with anything. I'm going to use some peanut oil. And I'll explain that later when I'm cooking them. All right, so I got my cast iron skillet with about a couple tablespoons of peanut oil in there. And this is just one onion. So I'm gonna cook this low and slow till they get, nice and reduced. Now, I'm not gonna season them at all. I'm not gonna season the meat either. Actually at Jim's, they don't season their meat. Pretty much the Cheese Whiz, well, you can get different stuff besides Cheese Whiz, but essentially the Cheese Whiz is what's gonna kind of provide the salt. You're gonna get the flavor from the meat itself. Now, one thing they do use is a special secret oil. And from what I understand, it is actually beef fat. So something called beef tallow, which is used. You could compare it kind of to lard, which is like, pork, kind of shortening, except it's beef. So I don't have any of that, so I'm using peanut oil. And go ahead and cook the onions now, and when they start to kind of cook down, I'll show you guys what's going on. All right, so I've kind of segued into the bread part of the situation, and this is the kind of roll that I'm going to be using now. In Philly, they use a lot of places use something called an Omarosa roll. I don't know if that's like a certain type of roll or a certain bakery that makes it, but this is what I'm getting. I got from my local grocery store. It just says sub roll. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut it open, and this time what I'm gonna do is actually gut the inside of it, so it's not as much bread within it. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of show y'all. And this is the same bread I use on the Italian sub cooking recipe. If you want to call it a recipe. I don't really think of the stuff I do as recipes. It's just me showing y'all, me cooking. If you like it, give me that thumbs up, what have you. But yeah. All right, so now as far as the meat goes, this is what I'm going to be using here. Steak-'em sliced steaks. They have like the frozen like ribeye that I've seen at Walmart before, and I tried that, or I tried something from my local grocery store. It was like frozen actual meat cut up, and it just didn't serve well for me. It didn't work out good. So this is something that I like to use. It's easy, it's affordable, and it tastes good. And I'm sure that this isn't the same high quality stuff they might use, in Philadelphia, but this is essentially what you get. Very thinly sliced beef steaks, and I'm gonna cook them. I'm not gonna chop them up fine, but I am gonna like kind of chop them up, if you will. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and get these cooked. Go ahead and start heating up the cheese. Oh yeah, let me show y'all what I'm using for the cheese. All right, now for the cheese, this is what I'm using. Good old Kraft Cheese Whiz. Processed. I probably can pronounce none of the ingredients on here. It's all trash, but this is what I've heard from some of the videos I've seen on YouTube in the research that I've done in regards to Philly cheesesteaks, that, you know, that's what's used. But I have had a close friend of mine that's a Philly native tell me that that this is something used by a certain demographic. Yeah, so this is what I'm gonna use, Cheese Whiz. So I'm gonna get this on the stove, heat this up, cook this, heat my onions back up because I put them in the fridge after I kind of cooked them. I didn't show you all that. And then assemble the sandwich and see how it tastes. Let's go. Chisel whizzle for your bizzle. All right, guys, so here we have it. I didn't get to film me putting it together and some of the other stuff you guys might have missed, but this is the finished product, as if I bought it from a restaurant, nicely wrapped up in parchment paper. The Philly cheesesteak. So here's the unboxing. Boy, oh man, it's like something from one of the big boys. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut her open so you guys can get a closer look. Look, man, we don't play on Sound of the Rain, okay? We do not play. When it comes to this food stuff, we don't play. So let me go ahead and go for the bite. Off cam bam. Let's get it. Daddy's home. Daddy's home. Daddy's home. Yo, on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being a 5 being the greatest, I give this a patented Sound of the Rain. This thing fire like a trap by Bone Thugs and Mariah. Look at that. I know that you can't really see it. If you don't like how it looks, the darkness, look, I'm gonna leave my Cash App in the description. Donate to a brother. I'm actually working on merch right now. Working on shirts and hats. And also music and something else. I can't remember, but yeah, man, Patreon. You know, so if you guys can support, it'll allow me to get better equipment and make better material, but yeah. This is it, you know. Next time I'm gonna make it a different way with provolone, mayonnaise, and some other stuff, but this Cheese Whiz is it. All right, sounding out. Sound of the Rain, deuces.